Good morning and welcome to, well, the morning edition of Q&A. I'm Faces from Tamara Foundry, and I didn't get a chance to capture new footage today because the PTS server went down for a patch. PTS server went down, yeah. I don't have any pre-submitted questions today, so I should probably start this and unmute. What the? I have it opened twice. Oh god. Oh god. What is going on? Why is this not playing? Oh dear. Why are you not? There it goes. Okay. Why is it so stuttery? Something is horribly wrong today. Something is really wrong. Let's close that. Okay, that's better. That was really weird. Alright, so I don't have any pre-submitted questions today, so how are you today? How's everyone doing? So I didn't get a chance to record new footage, so I have some slightly older PvP footage here. I should probably not have the stream open twice. That would help. I think that would be a good place to start. Please list the SOPCAP values. I need to double check. I'm actually going through the process of double checking some of my SOPCAP values, and I'll probably need to double check them again because beta is beta and things are liable to change, as apparently I just found out. So because apparently I had the wrong armor values when I posted them the first time, so I need to go through the process of checking a couple other things. So I don't really have the MIT anymore, probably. How am I holding up? I'm doing better than yesterday. Yesterday I was really tired because I didn't get to. I usually take a nap before I go to work, and then I didn't get a chance to do that because we had the downtime Q&A. When two Dragon Knights drop standard of might in the same area, does anything happen? The increased damage buff is specific to the one Dragon Knight. So I think a player would take damage from both standards, and I don't know if they would take less healing from both standard or just one. I think it would be both. I think it might be both. Ugliest helmet I could find. What was it? I forget what it was. I think it's like one of the early like medium armor helmets. It's basically like this really ugly like beige skull cap. Do you know how many dungeons are in Cyrodiil? There are no dungeons, but there are caves, the explorable ones that have like a sky shard in them, and I think there's 15. I think. I'm not too sure. I don't know if achievements are available on ESOHead, but you should be able to look up, like, I think it's called Caves in Cyrodiil. Can you talk about player guilds? How many people are needed to make one? Can guild names be changed? What does it cost? Other things that might be worth knowing. It only takes one person to make a player guild, but you need 10 people to get a guild bank and 50 people to get a guild store. The guild name itself cannot be changed, and it doesn't cost any gold. What can you recommend for solo play? Solo PvE? Race class? And if you're just doing solo stuff, anything is good. Like, if you're just doing solo stuff, you're probably just playing it to play the game, in which case you can pick whatever you want. Look this up. Cyrodiil Cave Explorer. There are 18 caves in Cyrodiil. Oops, I think I cut instead of... have you decided to go Redguard DK tank? Would you put your points into HP over stamina and Magicka? Yes. I think today we're still set on Redguard. I did some like napkin math on how good I think the passive is for Redguard, and 34 extra stamina regen that isn't affected by the soft cap is really useful. Especially because what counts as a melee attack could, if that counts as bash, you can also use active skills while blocking. So it's not, it'll be really good. Okay, today still Redguard. What about base regeneration values at level 50? And I actually just posted those earlier today in our tanking thread. At least on my Khajiit, I had 68 Magicka and stamina regen, and then I also had 43 health regen, but I'm a Khajiit, so that's increased by 15%. That's what I heard from a couple other people that I was asking, but they didn't exactly remember either. So I need to actually get a hold of one that actually is 50 so I can double check. It was 52 a while ago when we first saw what the Redguard passives were. And I don't know if it's been changed since then. I think that's what he was going off of. Does Negate Magic get rid of standards and novas? Yes. Negate Magic will get rid of a standard or a nova that is already in place. It'll clear them. I wanted to know about the way evasion works. Do you evade any damage or just a specific type? Can you evade AoE damage, siege damage, or just physical attacks or magic? I think evasion works. I think evasion works on everything, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We only have one person who runs the evasion skills, and he's not on right now, so I can't ask him. But I think it works on everything except for, I think it works on everything except siege. Have you seen people ganking in within the caves in Cyrodiil? I haven't, but that's because the Cyrodiil population is really low on the long-term server. Who is better in PvP, Templar or Sorcerer, or Souser with the Restoration Staff? How much? I actually don't know how much spell power. Whoops, that's the next question. Who's better? It really depends on your group I would say I think yeah, I think it just depends on what your group composition is if you're running in a group. Otherwise, I would just go with Templar. I'd probably just go with like blanket Templar because it's. I just really like Templar healers, except they can also be really vulnerable. How much spell power, how much fire spell power does the Dunmer ratio give at 50? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I don't. Yeah, I don't know on that one either. I need to ask other people for a couple of those because they're for factions that I don't play. What do you think of the ultimate barrier? Would it be good for healers? Barrier is a shield for. Come on. Skills. More from barrier is a shield for. That's not right. Skill rank 4. That's not right at all, Hank Cisohead. I think it's like a fairly large shield. I think it's not. Wow, it's expensive. Okay, I'm not sure whether it's good or not. Except the morphs look really good. Mainly replenishing barrier. Because that grants other people ultimate. I think if you're like not a Templar healer, actually not even, no, that's a lie. I don't think there are a lot of ultimates that really benefit healing in general, so I do think barrier is a good choice. And just for lack of better options that are healing focused, if you're doing like some damage support, then yeah, I wouldn't take it because it's not actually that great. Versus like taking a really good damage ultimate. How much damage mitigation will a full set of heavy armor give as compared to medium armor? Light armor at 50. If you have medium armor and use bone armor from the Undaunted, will you have as much as heavy armor? Bone armor gives 2,500 at. Yes, this doesn't. Skill rank. Character level. Okay, that's broken. That calculator's broken. Bone armor gives 2,500 armor at level 50, and it only lasts for 6 seconds. But it's definitely probably enough. It's definitely, you'll have more than like someone wearing just heavy armor. That's for sure. But I don't know how much, like, if you had like a full set of white compared to a full set of medium compared to a full set of light, I don't know how much each one specifically increases your damage mitigation by. I know that in my full set of 5 heavy, 2 light blue stuff, I have just under 40%. Not to lie. 35% is how much I have. That's what it is. And that is just above, and it is like above the soft cap as well. Do the crafting skills that allow for extra research in blacksmithing and clothier stack, or are they restricted to their respective craft? They are restricted to their respective craft. So like a blacksmithing, but you can have, so in that case you would have like 3 blacksmithing stuff researching, 3 clothier stuff researching, and 3 woodcutting researching at a time, if you've had points in all 3 of them. Do you think it would be possible for the developers of Tinker's Citadel to make it a survival map, AI versus player factions, just a horde of undead and bigger Daedra? So people on the forums have actually been suggesting similar to that, where there's just more like generic anchor activity in the world, and like then like Daedra forces would you know, attack keeps, or maybe like if a large fight is going on at a keep, it would like cause an anchor to occur at the keep. And that's the kind of things people were talking about. I think that'd be interesting. Does using Magma Armor then weapon swapping end the effect? No. Magma Armor is a timed buff, and none of the timed buffs end when you switch weapons. Do you think it would be a good idea to tweak Dark Anchors so that Daedra could spill out into the world? Kind of, so kind of like, rifts and invasions, from Rift. And I think that'd be kind of cool. I actually really liked that. Until it got really silly. But I liked the base idea. Do you think Dragonites can make good healers with the support abilities? I think there are a couple things that need to be slightly buffed for that, but I do think that they'd be good like support healers. Definitely. Do the skills require your class level or skill line level when you have points to spend? Does the skill line level when you have the skill slotted in your second bar? So skill line level is independent of your class level. So you could have like a skill line at 34 when you're level 20, as an example. But no skills slotted on your second bar do not gain experience. They have to be on your active bar. Can your mount die? No, it's basically a piece of equipment. It doesn't actually die. If two different ultimates slotted, do they have only one charge when you're using a specific ultimate to the bar? Yes, your ultimate is I believe the answer to that is yes. Am I reading that right? Your ultimate is one pool that goes up to 1,000, but when you use any ultimate, it consumes all of it. So and that one pool is like for your character, so it doesn't matter which bar you are on. Yeah, no, heavy armor doesn't make you a fortress. I do have like decent gear. I don't have fantastic gear, so I do think it would be like closer to the range of 40 or 42 if I had better quality on my gear. And maybe if I was using like 7 heavy instead of like 5 heavy 2 light. Nobody wants to bash the Templar. Why is he dying so slowly? Is it possible to level up all crafting skills to 50 without pointing skill points to them? How long would it take in my onion? Yes, no, it would definitely, you can definitely level all crafting skills to 50. How long it would take, it depends on the craft, but it shouldn't be horribly long. I don't think it's that much longer than just like the normal crafting and then extracting and then crafting what you got out of that. I'm not too sure. We'll have a full crafting guide posted, however, by the time the game launches, and that will definitely have more details on how much you get from crafting, because he's done a lot of work on that. How does mount storage work exactly? Is it a separate storage, or does it get added to your inventory? It gets added to your inventory as long as you have the horse equipped. But to use a different horse, you have to clear up your bag space so that you would have enough when you don't have that horse on. How does Michelin work in PvP and combat in general? Is there a delay of how many seconds before you can mount up after leaving combat? Yes, for PvE, it's a really short duration, like 2 or 3 seconds. For PvP, they've made it significantly longer so that people aren't just like spamming their mount while they're being chased and then they can get away. They made it much longer so that like actual chases occur. Did you say Redguard is looking like a better tank race now? I did say Redguard was looking like a better tank race, and that's because they gain roughly 34 stamina regen that isn't affected by the soft caps at all. which is definitely really useful because of combat maneuvers that like cause you to take less damage, like blocking or rolling. They're all stamina based, so the more that you can get, the better. So they're also percent based, so like increasing your pool doesn't really do a whole lot. How does equipment damage work? Does your armor decrease when your chest is damaged a bit, or only when it's destroyed? And can gear even get destroyed? It decreases the amount of armor that is on the item, so if your armor is slightly damaged, you'll have like, as an example, you would have like 300 of 350 if it had some damage on it, but an item cannot be actually destroyed. No, Snowman, this is not live. This is just some recorded footage that I have. What is the max level skills? 50. All skill, well. It depends on the skill line, but for most of the core ones, it's 50. The guilds are slightly different, and so are the world skill lines. What was the best way I made gold during my gameplay? Questing, because I'm poor and lazy. How did they... Is the first skill on a skill line required to level up the skill line further? On Useless Head, there are level requirements on the skills, meaning that you need to have level Fiery Grip to have Searing Strike available to buy. Because it requires skill line level 4, yes. Yeah, for the class skills and the weapon skills, they work that way. The world skills and the guild skill lines, they have their own unique ways of leveling. So, but yeah, if for the class skills and the weapon skills, you only need to actually have the first skill. Or maybe after you've respec'd any skill. What kind of build would the Imperial Health Regen passive be better than the Redguard Stamina Regen, not including all their passives? I think any build where you need the extra survivability, like where you're going to be taking damage, but you need the extra survivability. So, melee. Just melee. Melee generally takes all sorts of incidental damage, so I think that'd be a good place for the Imperial's Health Regen. This is an earlier version of FTC from this footage. It still has the Skrillin combat text, but the plates, the nameplates that are being used here, this is actually arc plates. What do you think about the Explorers Pack? I don't care either way. This is whatever. Woo, pre-order. What do you think of the Restoration Staff's healing abilities? Could the main healer rely on those? No, most of our healers seem to believe so. I think they think, but it needs to be played differently than just like, yeah. I do think that it could be. When I tried it, I didn't bring the right skills. I was missing like an actual direct heal, and I only brought a couple hots, and it didn't go that well. But I do know that some of our healers have done main healing with just the Restoration Staff, so. Have you heard you get more inspiration points? It's inspiration, not investigation, by the way. From extracting weapons that someone else has done. Is that character locked? Can you send items to alts and let them extract materials instead? To maximize inspiration gain on all your characters. Yes, you do gain more. You gain more inspiration from extracting an item that you haven't crafted. So whether it's a drop or crafted by someone else, I think it would work if you traded it between characters. I know our crafting guy actually traded them between like other accounts. He traded them between his friend, but I don't see it being any different because for an item it only just says like crafted by character name. So I could see it like where you could trade items with your own character, and it would get you the full experience versus a reduced amount. Double-handed weapons, how much can you block with them? How much more with a shield? When you're using anything but a shield, your block is 50% unless you're a Dragon Knight or a Templar, in which case it's 55% because it's multiplicative with the base, the Iron Skin passive, and then it's probably like math in my head would say 57 if you're a Templar and you have an Adric Spear skill equipped, because that's an additional 15%. And that's multiplicative with the base, so. Oh yeah, no, I definitely missed that, sorry Chezzy. If you have, say, 60 stamina, regen, fill up a pool of 1000 stamina. What? 60. If you have, say, 60 stamina regen, fill up a pool of 1000 stamina faster than a pool of that 2000 stamina? Yes, because you would get 60 stamina every 2 seconds. It's a static regen. So. Any info on stat hard caps? Yeah, the only hard cap I found has been the armor cap, and I'm investigating some differences with a couple things on that. I think there's something going on with like the VR rank of the thing that you're fighting affecting your armor. Like they might have like base armor penetration or something. But I haven't found any other hard caps, no. Siege damage is not dependent. Yeah, siege damage is not affected by anything unless it's being operated by an emperor. In which case it only does bonus siege damage and not extra damage to other players. Other than that, siege damage is static. What do you see? Where you seem to pull people up from the grid there? Is that a bug? How? Yeah, I don't know how. I think that's just because like the grid there is meant to be like shot through and for oil to be pulled through. I think this is a circumstance of the fact that Fiery Grip is also a projectile, so you can throw the chain through the floor that's meant to be shot through, and you can pull people up through it because it places them at you. That's how it works. I just think it's weird that you can pull someone through a metal grate. But yeah. Not gonna complain, they get stuck in a gatehouse. And we can kill them. Is there any way... can 50 then, like, Call of Duty... so like prestiging in Call of Duty? No, I don't. There isn't. It's yeah. No, Neil, I haven't been to sleep yet. I go to sleep after these. Armada. Yeah, there's been a lot of complaints about modifier keys, but I'm going to say a lot of people do have complained about modifier keys. I haven't heard anything about them. Though it's not. I think that's just like because people are used to using them. But there's like not enough things to do that require modifier keys, I feel. Can a Resto Staff DK heal in a dungeon? Yes, I have been healed by a Resto Staff DK. He did quite well. It's harder than the other classes because you have a different tool, like not as good of a tool set angled towards healing, but you can do it. Is the beta server up? No. Do you regain that in that particular resource pool when you put points into it? If you do you gain the same? Okay. So do you mean like when you increase your max pool, does your regen increase? I think that's what you're trying to say. If you increase your max roll, your regen increases, in which case, no. You can only get extra regen from passives and from enchants on your jewelry. Mounted players can be pulled off their horse or get kicked off of it. Yes, you can pull people off of their horse, and you can knock people down off of their horse. General like knockdowns and CCs will work, and also like them just taking enough damage will also knock them off their horse, and there's like an actual knockdown stun associated with that. Am I able to talk about werewolves yet? Nope. I can talk about the skills and passives because they're on ESOhead, but I can't actually talk about how to get it. Best race for offensive DK all factions? Altmer. Altmer or... Oh, Altmer or Dunmer, probably. Is the beta up? No, the beta server is not up. This is just some recorded footage that I have. Is anyone working on a minimap mod? Yes. Yes, they are. The gear that you buy with Alliance points, they only work in PvP map, or you can take them into PvE areas. Yes, you can take them into PvE. It doesn't differentiate where the gear is from, it's just that you have the gear. So it's meant to be, mixed and matched. Well, what's that spell on you that looks like rocks revolving around you? That is Obsidian Shield. What was your base question? Because I only got half of your question, Toady Sprite. It says, how Alliance gear better than looting/crafting? Are you referring to how is the PvP gear gained with Alliance points, the PvP gear better than looting/crafting? It's not better, it's comparable. There it is. Yeah, no, it's comparable. It's meant to be mixed and matched with your PvE gear. Will there be different emperors for each campaign? Yes, I found your question, Lucas. There will be one emperor per campaign. How do you increase your spell power? You get spell power as... I think spell power is available on jewelry as an enchant. So your 2 rings and your necklace. How effective is crit damage in PvP? I like crit damage. I think it's... But how effective it is more dependent on how much crit chance you have. Khajiit must be the most viable race for Netblade raid. Altmer for Sorcerer. I don't agree with Altmer for Sorcerer. I think there are a couple other races that are really good, but Altmer is good. But in terms of raw damage, Altmer will be the highest for a Sorcerer because they get increased lightning damage. I think Khajiit is just good for any crit-focused build. I think it's really easy to make a crit-focused build on a Nightblade because of the assassination passives. That's probably why it seems that way. What effects on power of your class abilities? Does the number of stat points in Magicka affect the power, or only the amount of Magicka? Only the amount of Magicka. And then your spell power as well. So it doesn't matter where the amount of Magicka you got from, whether it's from stat points or from gear enchants, it's just that you have more Magicka and makes your spells do more damage. After they release Adventure Zones, any other opinion on what the developers should focus on? New PvE content or PvP content, or fix something that might need work? I think I need to see how the game is developing at that point before, like, what they need to do next after their first patch. Because their first patch usually has, like... So I know, like, on their table in terms of things they want to put out is the Adventure Zone, Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood. I think there are a couple other things. There are a couple random maps that have been picked up on ESOhead because that just mines the client. How long does it take to get to VR10? Close in time for getting level 50. It doesn't take as long as getting level 50, and it'll be hard to tell because they actually just changed a lot of the values needed to get VR ranks since I hit VR10. No, Rudius, the sorcerers are not actually the master class. Because fuck them. Shield Charge or Templar's Focus Charge. I actually like Focus Charge more. I wish I had Focus Charge. What is the modifier on crit? 50% or 100% crit? It's 50% crit damage, I believe. If the Emperor dies, is he still Emperor? I should... if the Emperor dies, yes, he is still Emperor. The Emperor is based on who has the most alliance points on your faction when you cap all of the Emperor keeps. And that gets you the, yeah. In terms of, going to, like, when you do the start area, I don't think it's worth the gold to actually buy armor. I think you should maybe just, like, do a little bit of early crafting, get some, like a head and the shoulders, so that you don't have to worry about those, because it's just nice to have that extra armor and those extra pieces for the experience. What race do you think is good for a sorcerer? Probably Altmer or one of the more tanky races, depending on what you want to do with your class, with your builds. Periodic damage from Wall of Elements, Inferno, Magma Armor, Cinderstorm, crit? Yes, all of those can crit. As far as I know, dots can crit. I think I've heard different things on whether the fact that actual dots can crit, but I'd be surprised if they couldn't. The only thing I noticed that can't crit are like Grand Healing and Regeneration, the two HOTS that are available. Do I think they'll make more classes after launch? No. I don't think they'll make more classes, because then I think that would not go over well when they have such a flexible system for just adding additional skill lines. I do think that we will see additional skill lines, though. Why are you not modded? You should be modded. Do you have any idea about the resource points for Nightblade? Bow main, dual second, balance points, Magicka stamina, or more into Magicka? I think it depends on what kind of actives you're using. I think I think it just depends on what actives you end up using. If you end up using more Nightblade actives, more Magicka. If you end up using more bow actives, more stamina. When you have the appropriate skill, can you research multiple of the same kind of item? No, you can't. I wish you could, but you can't, so you can't research like 2 boot traits at the same time. No. Is the soft cap on health higher than Sound and Magicka? Yes, the soft cap on health is higher. And yes, racial bonuses do affect the plus max stat, because the soft cap is, calculated off of whatever your total is, not before any passives. Is the craftable gear better than the dungeon and PvP gear? Nope, it is on par. It is meant to be mixed and matched. Was I at the Chalamo? No, I had to go to work before. I had to take my nap before going to work, and I wasn't at the Chalamo. How do DKs with Destruction Staff passives synergize? Which passives cross over? Oh, I have our crafting guy in the chat channel. Let me take a look at Destruction Staff real quick. Fire attack increase. Crit strike chance, destruction spells, status effects, every attacks. No. The only thing that crosses over is the kindling, because that affects the burning status effect and not anything else. And then any fire damage can cause burning, so. When leveling up, if you don't want the first class skill, should I put a skill point at them anyways, or can I wait to pick up the class skill at a later level? You should probably just pick it up, because you'll be waiting a long time, because you'd have to find like 4 random books to increase your class skill to 4 before you can get the second skill. He's playing a Nightblade. It mentions he has an ability that heals him when he uses his ultimate. What is that? I think that's the actual ultimate itself. I think that's the Siphoning ultimate. Soul Shred. No. Soul Siphon. Maybe. Soul Tether. Nope. I'm not sure. What mug do I have? It's a mug from, I think it's from PAX 2012. It's a Neverwinter mug. You get stats from crafting on gear that you can't. Alright, Rudris, answer that. I'll just read his question. Yes and no. Drop/buy gear can have various stats on it, and traits. With crafting, you can control what you want on stats and traits on the gear if you have the skill. Yeah, that sounds about right. There's also some sets that can only be found on like dungeon drops or crafted items. Will the Creedle Fest in Cyrodiil be there at launch? I power level 30 last weekend. I think they are changing those. Yeah, like potions a lot. How important is it to get endgame in PvE and PvP? How are they determined to come to basic potions are really easy to come by. Advanced combo potions, I think, are going to be the really important ones, and those will there'll probably be a lot of farming for those, because they're really good. Try to overthrow him. I'll have to get more points than him first, which shouldn't be too hard, because I play more than him currently, so. What are the most powerful nuke abilities for solo PvE? Dragonite doesn't, Assassin's Blade, probably, for a Nightblade. Dragonite doesn't have any nukes, straight up. It does have, like, well, it's got Fiery Whip. I guess would be the Dragonite's nuke. Which is pretty good. How hard are the veteran dungeons compared to WoW BC hard modes? I'd say that's about where I would place them. I think that's about right, yeah. That seems like a reasonable comparison. They're pretty hard, but they're not, like, overbearing. Does Essence Drain heal the caster as well? Let me look up what Essence Drain is real quick. Essence Drain. Yes, it has a chance of it will heal you as well if you are the lowest health target. Excuse me. Do you recommend not reading any book until you're 50 to maximize the gain for them, or do you think we should read the book as many do it? I think the books are like semi-random, so I think you should just read them when you find them, because it's just easier to like rummage through all of the bookshelves in an area really quickly than actually like remembering to go back and get them. What level I'm in this video? This is some max level PvP. This I think I'm still VR10 in this video. Is it possible to suicide so you can respawn? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I think that's just a side effect of how their /stucking works. How many points have you put into health, magic, or stamina, respectively? I think... currently I have 45 in health and then 4 in stamina. Does immovable break stun /general CC on activation? No, it doesn't. It only makes you immune to further ones. If you already have them, you're still screwed. Oh, it's my time. Okay. In the current game state, is there any class that is OP in comparison to the others? Probably. I'm gonna go with probably, but yeah, there probably is one that's overpowered. I think there are enough counters that it's not horribly bad right now. For the Mages Guild, how do you level the skill line? Do you do quests and bring them back books? No, there are like lore books scattered around the world and in each zone. Then reading a book gives you 5 Mages Guild experience, and I think you need... So yeah. You have to go out into the world and explore and find the Mages Guild like lore books, and that gives you experience with the skill line. Which I think is really cool. That really puts in like an emphasis on the actual exploration aspect of the game that they've been trying to push for. So that's pretty cool. How many skills are there to remove negative effects? Off the top of my head, there's Purge in the support skill line. There's Rapid Maneuver in the assault skill line. And there's Cleansing Ritual on the Templar. Whoa. Please tell us that we won't be stuck in the 50 plus... no. With the higher level materials, it's kind of bracketed, so you'll have a choice of like the last 2 or 3 zones that'll be available. To get like the 50 plus material, the top level material, you'll have access to like, I think it's 2 or 3 zones. Because they had to split 2 resources between 5 zones, so it'll be 2 or 3. Classes feel pretty good with a few exception skills and abilities. Yeah. LOL Sorks and LOL Battle Roar. Can you repeat the answer to this question? How many attribute points have you put into Magicka, Health, and Stamina, respectively? Yes, I've put 45 points into Health, and then I have 4 points into Stamina, and then I have Magicka on my gear. Except in this video, I don't. I just have whatever was on the gear when I got it. This gear that I'm in right now is not optimized at all. It's just kind of what came on it. What is the most effective role for each class in PvP? It depends on what your group is and what you're doing. There are a whole bunch of stuff that can be effective. It just really depends on the situation. Does Rapid Maneuver stack with Mount Speed? Yep. Yes, it does. Though I feel bad for the person that's doing Rapid Maneuver because they gotta walk. How strong and important are food buffs in PvP and PvE? They're probably pretty important. They're pretty huge buffs. I wouldn't say huge, but they're pretty large buffs. How many people in PvE zones does the Megastore tend to keep in one zone at a time? I actually don't know. Can you explain your build in the AVA at the moment and which skills you use and why? So currently, I'm using a Fire Destruction Staff and 7 pieces of light armor. I'm using Impulse, morphed to Pulsar, Dark Talons morphed to Burning Talons. Right now I have Siege Shield on, and then I have Immovable and Obsidian Shield. I use Impulse because it's a really strong, like, good spammable AoE. Dark Talons because it does a lot of damage and roots things down. Siege Shield because we needed someone to run Siege Shield. Immovable because it makes you immune to crowd control when you have it up, so you just kind of cast it proactively all the time. And then Obsidian Shield because it's an Earth and Heart skill, so I get stamina return from it, and then it just like prevents damage. And then Dragonite Standard because it's Dragonite Standard and does a lot of damage. Can you explain the concept behind mercenaries? So basically, what the mercenaries are that you can buy in your gate camps is they're just like a friendly NPC that you can place on the ground. That they basically act like keep guards, except they have a different moveset. Does spell damage and weapon damage affect the skill's damage? It depends. How do scouting missions work in PvP? You roll up onto whatever you have to scout, and then you press E to use your scouting report, and then you go back to your keep gate and turn it in. Do you get more alliance points when you're playing in a group, or does it make no difference? I think it's easier to get more alliance points because you get points for doing supporty things, but you definitely get more alliance points when you're playing as a group, not necessarily in a group. Because when you're playing as a group, you can do, like, more things really well, like coordinating. Does a weapon attack on a staff use magicka or stamina? Skills? Light or heavy attacks don't cost any resources, but the skills on the staffs use magicka. I know right now Isohead has everything listed as stamina, and that's wrong. Do you find that you switch often between the two bars, or do you prefer one over the other? I do prefer one over the other. I think my Sword and Shield bar that I have, that I don't remember what's on it, I use that for a bunch of utility things, like that's Fiery Grip, it's a Spell Reflect, it's, a couple other things that I don't remember. My Skype chat is going crazy. I'm sorry for that. Is there any way to apply it to PTSD? No, there isn't. Would you say that having this somewhat low mana pool is a problem? Yeah. I have since I recorded this, I have redone my gear. I have actually optimized it a bit more. This is just, I have these pieces and I need 7 pieces of light armor. That's why I keep checking everything all the time. How can I reclaim a castle? So to claim a keep for your guild, you go up and you talk to the quartermaster. If it isn't claimed by anyone, you can claim it for your guild. You can do this with any of the keeps and any of the reasons. Is Tamriel found you're making guilds for other alliances? Nope. At least not the staff. But yeah, no, there isn't. Do light/heavy attacks with weapons have lots of weight and DPS, or abilities do more damage, with base attacks only doing limited damage? I'm fairly certain that skills do more damage on average, and that light attacks do like a moderate amount of damage, but are meant to be used in between skills so you can properly manage your resources. like you do magic in one hand and sword in the other. No, it doesn't work like Skyrim, where you have your two-hand system. You have like a weapon set, and then you have this hotbar that you can see at the bottom that you can equip skills onto. And the skills will be like either stamina, like either like a weapon skill or like a spell. Summoning going to be good, or will be like in every other MMO? It's currently the summons need a buff. So currently it's like every other MMO where the summons are kind of junky. Yes, that is correct, Zapfi. Zapfi. Is there any other skill calculators I can use? I know of a couple other ones. Let me check. Skill builder, does this have stuff listed correctly? This doesn't even give me numbers anymore. That's cool. No, so wasn't that one. What the fuck is the other thing? I forget what the other skill calculator is because I didn't save it. So yeah, no, I don't know any ones that have the correct numbers. Ooh. Do all synergy DPS skills scale in Magicka? I think so. I don't actually know of any synergy skills that use like actual like first part abilities that use stamina. So yes, I would assume so. Yes. Resto Staff, the healing power will be affected by both your weapon damage of the staff and your maximum Magicka. This is from a beta. This is recorded footage, though. Yes. God, this footage is really long. I'm probably gonna go for maybe another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So I gotta head to sleep pretty soon. For those who want to be healers, but they also feel like they want to put points into DPS so they can solo things, and be able to craft, how many skill points should be invested in healing skills considered a main healer for the first dungeon? You should make sure that you have enough Magicka regen to be comfortable, which is probably going to be really hard. And then you should also have a couple heals. Like if you're a Templar, regeneration, and then your casted heal, healing ritual, would be fine. Or if you're any other class, probably regeneration and grand healing you could get away with. Does the Resto Staff healing increase significantly the magic pool? So Stork with Resto Staff will have a much better healing than DK. Yeah. I want to say significantly, but yeah, it does increase with your max Magicka pool. Because they're all magical based skills. Can you focus on one craft weapon and skill tree and still be effective? You would have a lot of leftover skill points if you focused on one craft and one weapon and one skill tree. Are there any Templar CCs that you know of that would be or a useful active that you recommend as a tank? Biting Jabs. Biting Jabs is probably the main one that comes to mind. Because it also gets you most of your Adric Sphere passives, and then it's also like a fairly decent cone. Then is also yeah. Yeah, chest count. Summons are they're pretty terrible. They're not that good. They die. They don't do a whole lot of damage, and they die really quickly. Yeah, pretty much. It's enough to have the first two Resto Staff abilities plus teammates not standing in fire. Do you know for sure if block and dodge is based on a percentage of your total pool rather than a base stamina pool at level? I've tried it with like small changes to my stamina. I do have to like double check with like just the base stamina amounts. I need to double check a lot of numbers pretty quick here anyways, because yeah, I do need to double check most of my numbers because there've been a bunch of changes since I got them, so it's just always good to double check them all the time, for me at least. For staffs use Magicka, do their auto attack damage increase damage with Magicka as well? No, they actually increase with stamina, which I both agree with and don't agree with. I don't agree with it because that's not a stat that you're stacking, but I agree with it because it gives stamina value to Magicka-based characters if they do want to get that extra damage from that source. You talked about changing character builds to gain... I'm not going to be changing my race because my PvE role is tank, so my race is pretty locked into tank races. And then PvP build is just going to be something that works. Daedric Mines is cast on the ground. So like they appear on the ground in front of you. When you have a summon or mage-led ability active, does it decrease the Magicka pool? Lower damage from Magicka-based abilities? That is a good question that I don't know the answer to. I don't think it does. I think it counts like a reserved pool. Like, I can't remember any games that do that kind of thing. Path of Exile, there's a good example, where auras reserve like a portion of your maximum pool, but your maximum pool is still the same. You just have like a lower effective maximum because it's reserved. How good is Daedric Mines for kiting in PvE or PvP? None of us. I haven't seen our sources really using it, so. Is there a AoE buff / damage cap in terms of people? I know there's a cap for buffs, but I haven't seen a cap for like AoE damage spells. I think buffs caps at 12. But in terms of damage spells, I haven't seen a cap for that. What could be better for healing? Templar's healing or Resto stuff for Argonian race? Well, 1, don't be an Argonian. 2, either is really good. Argonian is bad. Bad racials. But, both the Templar's healing and the restoration staff are really good. I like a lot of the extra things that the Templar healing brings, though. Restore Destro Staff DK. I do think it's important to pick a caster race. I do think it's important to pick a caster race because you'll be able to, if you want to push for a higher values, then it's easier because you have those racial benefits. But if you do want to like kind of skirt the edges of them, it's also easier because you'll have like more points to put elsewhere. How much does max stamina really affect weapon damage? I know the weapon. I haven't actually figured out how much extra damage you get, but I just know that you get extra damage. But what are sources of spell damage? You get spell damage from like a couple specific skills, like the Dark Elf passive or the Dark Elf passive or the Molten Whip morph of Lava Whip. but generally they'll be found as on jewelry or rings. Yes, BezDNA. I also do upload all of my streams to YouTube, and that's just youtube.com/Phaseus if you want to find them there. Do the racial 15% XP skills matter? Nope. Basically, you get to that faster. You get that skill to cap faster, and it doesn't really matter. It's not going to get you any advantage. Is there a reasonable strike newt spell for Templar? I think the people have said flare, or maybe I think they've said flare or dark flare. It's one of the two. Or if not, I actually just like biting jabs. So. Specific weapons class knowledge. Yeah, I do Dragon Knight. Niveling does Sorcerer. Erlex does Templar. Crafting stuff. Rudrius has spent all of his testing time crafting. All of it. Yeah, he knows like significantly more about crafting than the rest of us. Do you get points for destroying siege equipment? Also, when you have done lots of PvP, can you buy like a zillion siege equipment and use it all the time? Yeah, if you feel like using up all of your bag space, because currently siege equipment doesn't stack. But yeah, you can buy zillions of it. Like, in the video right now, you can see up at the top, I have 122,000 alliance points. And siege equipment only costs like 1,000 something each. Does anyone know if the level 50 stat we have... Does anyone know the level 50 stats we have without investing any points? Like when you just reset your points to 50? Yes, it is 1,180 stamina or magicka and 1,230 health. Right now, I've just had those posted in our tanking thread, but I think there will be like a general stats post up eventually. How much time do you need to actually spend? Okay. Crafting question, Rudy's already answered it. Because delays. Any reason to fish in the game is pastime, achievements, and pastime. Currently, I don't think any fish are used for crafting, for cooking, for provisioning, which makes me sad. How is the loot in PvP? Do you get a lot of uncommon? Yes, you will get a lot of uncommon items, though it's not horrible because you can still you'll pull like green versions of the like the PvP sets, and then you can just upgrade them. Is it worth money to spend points on epic gear, or is it better to just save up for legendary from the start? You can't. Like, you always have to upgrade an epic to a legendary. You can't just get legendary. It's always upgraded too. Is it really worth getting lockpicks from random word chests? Well, you don't have to spend the money to buy the lockpick, and then it's always worth it to actually open the chests, because opening a chest actually gets you experience. Opening chests is worth experience. I can. Yeah. So I'm gonna call it here for the morning because I need to head to bed pretty quickly here. So you can I do have a YouTube. I just posted in chat because someone was asking for it and they missed what I said earlier. And it is just youtube.com/Phaseus. I also have a Twitter. Twitter is probably the best way to get show updates. And also just get generic rambling. And then You can also, preferably, you also follow me here on Twitch, and that way you get the automatic updates whenever I go live. My show times are currently daily at 8 a.m. Pacific. 8 a.m.? No, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. Pacific. And be sure to check out Tamriel Foundry for like all sorts of other mechanics discussion and stuff. We recently successfully migrated our server, so it should not be giving you 504 errors all the time. People are getting more crafting questions. Rudius said that he'll be doing a crafting Q&A on Thursday, though he might do it sooner. As soon as I find out more, I'll actually let you guys know about that. He'll probably take like more questions in chat for a bit. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't yell at me. Yeah. I will see everyone this evening when I come back for like another hour for evening Q&A. And hopefully I'll actually have new footage. Yeah. Have a good day. I'm going to sleep.